to be with you tonight, and I thank the Geek Girls for inviting me and being able to be here with you tonight. I do work at AMD, and we are distinct in the market. You might know us. I hope you know us. You probably know many of our competitors as well. You know Intel, you know NVIDIA. What's very distinct about AMD is we are the only one within the high-tech industry that owns two very, very important pieces of technology that powers and brings to life both the PC and also the tablet and slate devices in the market. We have what's traditionally been called the CPU, and we also have graphics, a GPU, discrete level DirectX 11 graphics. If we look at our competitors, NVIDIA's got graphics, they don't have a CPU. Intel has CPU, they don't have a discrete level graphics. And what's important about that is what we're able to do with that technology that nobody else can do. What's even more important to that is what that technology delivers to the market that nobody else can deliver. And that's a little bit about what I want to talk to you about today. I have been on what I call the iHeart APU 2011 Roadshow. It began at CES when we first launched our first low-power Fusion APU. And then from there, I went to Taiwan, I went to Singapore, I went to Sydney. I've got team members that are in Bangkok, in Beijing, in Kuala Lumpur, and then I come back here. I'm in Milan. I was in Hanover earlier this week for CeBIT, and next week I go to London, I go to Paris, I go to Hamburg, I go to Munich, I go to Madrid. When I come back soon, we will have people going to Buenos Aires, to Sao Paulo, and we're really going, as you can tell, around the world to talk about the APU. So as I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the technology is, because we are all technology. People who love technology, we live in it, we work in it in various aspects of it, we certainly appreciate it. And what's important about this is where it's going to take the personal computer and personal electronics devices market into this next decade. And that's really what I want to talk to you about today. There's people here in terms of human interfaces, and people who work on that and have a very big passion for human interfaces. And I want to talk about that today too, because a lot of this technology is really going to enable and allow us to have the interaction with our PC that we haven't been able to have in the past. And there's some reasons for that, part of them being very much around hardware and silicon technology. And that hardware and silicon technology with the APU really takes a leap forward this year. I tell people to remember 2011, because 2011 is the year that begins the third decade for the personal computer. And the things that we have been dreaming about for many years and watching in movies for many years finally will come to life in this decade. And it begins with this product that I'm going to talk to you about today. Let's look a little bit about the history of the personal computer. You know, in the 1990s to 2000 is really the birth of the computer. That's when it became truly personal, meaning people began to buy one, and people had one in their home. But how you interacted with that PC was mostly around email. And that was really the application that people mostly used in the 90s. It was a business application for the most part, even though people did begin to have them at home. They really began at work. And then we moved to this decade that we just came from, right? 2000 to 2009, 2010. We started to have a little bit of different interaction with our PC. Certainly we did more with it. It became more personal, if you will. We started to begin to create what I like to call our digital memories, photos, some video, certainly moving and storing our music. And the PC began to be very much the hub of the home and very much an entertainment device. We started to watch more and consume more and look at videos. But the way that we interfaced with our PC pretty much stayed the same. It was primarily mouse and keyboard. Towards the end of this last decade, we started to begin with some touch technology, but still the screen has been in the way between us and our computer. Our computer is very smart, but it hasn't been smart enough to know we are the one that is using it. It hasn't been smart enough yet to recognize that it's us in front of it and that we are talking and we are looking at it. And that's what will change with the accelerated processing unit, the new APU, Fusion APU from AMD. So let's talk a little bit about what that means and why that is. What really begins to enable and bring to life speech recognition, facial recognition, the types of things that we've seen in movies for many, many years, is the technology that I'm showing here. What we've been able to do in AMD, what's wonderful about this for us is that we're enabling all of these new ways in which you're going to be able to interact with the PC, but what's also very good is we're singularly able to deliver this in the market. Well, I'm looking at this chip that I'm showing, and I'll pass this around. What's in this little chip, which is about the size of a 10-cent euro, is a multi-core, a dual-core processor, x86 microprocessor, a discrete level GPU. So for those of you who know, right, I mean, this has been primarily a card that goes into a notebook with a big fan or a desktop. We've now taken that technology and put that on a chip, together with also some Northbridge technology. So we've taken 3 chips and we've made it all in one into one chip. And this has the compute capability of a Cray supercomputer of the mid-1980s. So a computer that used to pretty much fill the room we're in now is now in this little my little fingertips. This is also 33 times the compute capability of a CPU just 2 years ago. Why are we able to make such a leap forward? Well, what we're able to do is take what has primarily been, when we talk about the graphics card, primarily been a card that has sit separate from the CPU, that has talked to the CPU by a PCI Express card. We've taken all of that out of the PC and we've put it on the same piece of silicon. And we think about the software development community, and I'll talk about this in a minute. This opens up a world of possibilities for PCs and tablets that have never been realized before. But that world is one we've seen, as I said, it's one that's been in the movies for many, many years. So Christy, if you go to the next slide. What that really brings are 3 things. First is the HD 2.0 experience, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute and what that means about the next generation of HD. It also brings supercomputer in a notebook, and I've already talked about that. This is a Cray supercomputer from 1985 here in my fingertips. And it also brings all-day battery life. Now, we have been able to have this technology on many levels for many years.